If you're brand new to TUF, this is how you want to start. I want to show you around the unit a little bit where things are. First of all, the bars, what you're going to be using a lot of. On the program, they're going to be called bar, simply said. We've got 20 kilo bars, which are normal thickness, and we've got 15 kilo bars, which are slightly shorter. They've got pink on them. We've also got a technique bar, which weighs 8 kilo. Don't load this too heavy, no more than a 5 either side, but that's there for your technique. It's either side of the bars. It's pretty simple to see what's what, but you want to be making essentially quite small increments. If the barbell's being taken from the floor, you want full size 5 kilos at least, or if you're going up in weight, replace them with 10s, 15s or 20s. Most of the stuff is on the wall, the programs, templates, and the equipment. If not, just ask someone while you're there, someone will help you. First of all, warm-ups. Essentially, if it's freezing and your body's cold, I want you to use either to walk around. You can walk around the estate, you can use the rower, you can skip in the outside extension, you can use the bike or such like, just to get your body temperature warm. If it's already warm outside, there's no need to do a pulse raiser. After that, your warm-up is actually quite individual because you don't want to be wasting time. But if you want something generic to do, before you start with light versions of the first exercise, first of all, I want you to do hip swings. Sideways on the wall, hand against the wall, and the leg swinging, which is between your base leg, what's outwards, and the wall. Do both sides, try and get a little bit higher each time. Then you can face the wall and swing your leg a little bit higher each time, just to get your lower body and hips moving. After that, use the PVC pipes, a band or a skipping rope to do some shoulder rolls. Again, this is just lubing up the upper body and allowing you to get ready to move. Last one is bird dogs. This is especially important for someone with lower back issues, but a lot of people won't have proper strength in the lower back or work it properly. What I will say, just before you start, for the first few weeks you're going to really ache. If you want to recover, I want you to keep your activity up to the level you're doing. Just because you're new doesn't mean you haven't got any ability. You could be really low in ability or really high. So this is just the workout I want you to do in the meantime while you're coming in to be coached essentially and being shown the other programs on the wall. If you're really aching, I'm going to link the video in the description. There's a recovery circuit you can be doing at home if you're aching. And there's also going to be a workout what's suitable for beginners to do at home, with minimal equipment. That'll also be in the description. The PDF to the program will be in the description, but you can just grab the video in a minute. I'm going to show the program and you can keep referring back to this video. Everything's going to be 3 sets of 10 reps with 1 minute to 2 minutes rest in between. This is just to blow the cobwebs off. If it's really easy, just add more reps to each set. If you get upwards to 20 reps, you can then add a little bit of weight because it's really easy. We're not in a rush to load weight, we're just trying to blow the cobwebs off and get you ready to do our programs. Just a really quick one as well, people, okay? The programming, how to read that, is on another video. If you just have a little swizz down in the beginners section. Long story short, if an exercise is an A and a B, it means it's paired together. You'll do one exercise followed by the other. That is one set, both of them combined. If you're working with a partner, it's a good idea. One of you does one of the exercises while the other does the other. Swap round, and then you know you're having about the right rest periods and work periods. Okay, let's go. Okay, the first exercise is a squat. We've decided to do back squats with the bar. If this is too hard, I'll show you how to make it easier in a minute. These bars, again, this is a 20 kilo barbell. You want it set at nipple height, between nipple and neck on the rack, and you want to face the rack and take it out. That way, when you're tired, you can see what you're doing, essentially, after the set's over. You're going to grab it, pop it on your back, walk off, couple of steps, and essentially what you're doing, you're going to sit your arse between your knees. I want you to keep your heels on the floor, chest upright, and I want you to go as low as you can. Take it slow, and just feel out the movement. When you're done, walk into the rack. There you go. I'm not going to go into mega technique ins and outs and tweaks. I just want you to practice and then show us for technique correction. Option 2, if that's quite hard and you're struggling to get your depth, you can just walk back, use a bench or a box and gradually make that lower. And essentially you can sit down onto that, you can have the bar or not, and then come back up here. If you want something to keep you more upright and balance, just grab a 5 kilo plate and have it so you can look through it so it's fairly high. And that'll help you balance. So your second exercise is a Romanian deadlift. You're going to start empty bar again, but obviously we can add weights from the sides. What we're going to do to start is grip it in your hands. You want to be around the thumb of your hips, feet under your hips. Right, so essentially all we're doing with this is trying to get down to the floor and move the bar in a straight line as a drill. So chest is up, little bend in the knees, and what I want you to do every rep is get a little bit lower. So come there, and then come there. Essentially, as you go, your body's going to take the brakes off and allow you to keep a straight back and just move through that. I want you to hinge at the hips and don't get any forward knee bend. Your shins want to stay vertical, and as you go through, you can just add a little bit more weight. When there's some weight on it, you can put the hooks lower, and you could just put it back on the bar here. That's no issue. This movement I want you to do sideways onto the mirror so you can see what your back angle is doing. It doesn't matter too much what's happening from the front, it's more the side. Alright people, so exercise 3A is an overhead press. It's a little bit high on the rack, but a little bit lower. All you're doing here, you want to stagger a leg behind yourself. So if you lean back, you just fade onto the leg rather than overextending the back. Elbows are to the front here, and all you're doing is pressing up, locking out. You're going to lock out roughly in line where your crown would be. So just there. Okay, the reps are going to look like this. Face comes out the way, face comes through. Until you are done. We've got lighter bars, as we said before, on the rack. So use a light bar if you can't do empty 20. So exercise 3A, we can use this machine here or any of the other cable machines. This is just a lat pull down. We'll do an underarm grip on the lat pull down. Get a little bit more biceps involved. So all you're doing, grabbing the weight. You can adjust the pin, basically in the plates between them. They're about, I think they're about 7 to 9K each plate. So if you're struggling to get to the next plate down, it's too heavy, you can just put a little 3 kilo on top and that'll give you like an halfway. So just something to know. All you're doing, grabbing the bar, roughly shoulder width, maybe a little bit narrower if you're a bit inflexible. Sit down there. All we're doing is pulling as far as we can under the chin, up and stretching. Try not to lean back too much. So stretch, squeeze, stretch, squeeze. Suck eggs. So set the bench up so when you're laid and your head and all your body's fully supported, your eyes are under the bar when the bar is at the end of the hooks. Hands on the bar, roughly where your shoulders are, and then go another half. So somewhere along that. Don't be trapping your fingers on the hooks. You're going to tuck your shoulder blades back and together and put your chest up a little bit. I want you to keep this position strong as if someone were going to shove you around on the bench. You'll be able to not get pushed around. The bar will get flexed off, roughly over your neck. You're going to come down to about nipple height, touch your chest, and then press back up. Down, touch your chest. I'm not touching it because of the mic, by the way, and then press back up. When you're done, roll it back onto the rack. Good to go. Done. Exercise is a row. A row means any motion where we pull in this way. This is a horizontal pull. We've just done a vertical pull, horizontal press, vertical press. Okay. So what I like to do with this one, is something just to rest either your head on, because you know you're far enough over, or you are quite horizontal, or your chest. Sake of this, I'm going to do the head. You can use dumbbells or no dumbbells when you start. All you're trying to get is this position here, trying to let your shoulder blades round and then pull them back first and then move the elbows. Elbows come, shoulder blades come. Shoulder blades first, then the elbows. There and there. You can grab some light dumbbells and then you can start to do it in one motion. That's going to make sure you're pulling properly. Around this little shithole is where we keep his bands. Don't be laughing at stuff. Pretty much there's all the little bits what we use what aren't big heavy things. So we're going to grab a band out of here, and this is what we've got for his next exercises. The next two exercises are an A and a B. That means they're paired together. You finish one set of one exercise and you go straight to the next exercise. You have a rest. It's as if you've combined them two together into one set, and you go back to it. So if it's 3 sets of 10, you'll be doing 10 each, and then that's one set. First one's band pumps. So, personal preference, but we put the band around the knees. Keep a little bit of tension in the band to start. If it's too hard of a band, you can't move the legs enough, just get a lighter band. You can use the fingers to move you out like that. All you're going to do is push out, hold, 3, 2, 1, and then back in. And again, push out, hold, 3, 2, 1, back in. That's exercise 5A. Okay, exercise 5B is side raises, or lateral raises, you might have seen them called before. All we're doing here, really simple, suck eggs, just moving the shoulder. I like to curl the knuckles over a little bit and make sure the elbow is slightly higher than the hand as you come up to the top. A slightly forward lean's okay. All we're going to do is lift up, hold, come back down under control. Imagine as soon as you touch this, the dumbbells to your legs, you're going to be straight back up. It's as if you're trying to spend as much time as you can up. This is a light movement. So if you have to use your frees or even little plates where are just up right at the top of the pegs, that'd be fine. So 6 is 4 exercises put together. If you get to this stage and your muscles are quite tired already, you're already really feeling it because you're brand new, you can just chill out a bit and maybe just do 1 set of each, or knock this off for the first couple of times you do it. This is optional. Exercise number 1 is tricep overhead extensions. You can do them with multiple different things, cables, dumbbells, whatever, but we're just going to do it with a 1 dumbbell. Show you how to do that. Right, so grab a dumbbell, that's what we picked today. Put it up on your shoulder, make a triangle. Back here, I'm going to stretch right down and extend up. This movement is a stretcher exercise, so I want you to get full range down. If you can't get full range, it's too heavy. Doesn't matter too much about a full lock. Second move is a biceps exercise, just a curl. So standard curl, grab a couple of dumbbells. We'll do them alternating. All that means is you do one arm, curl up, palms up, there. What we're trying to do is get a full stretch and a full squeeze. So at the bottom I like to tense up the back of the elbow, the tricep, that'll make it harder. Okay, that's 2. C is shrugs. The only people I'd say not to do shrugs are if you're a female, for example, and you're conscious about these muscles up here or the neck thickness. If you have shoulder problems and pains, these can be quite handy for that, i.e. knots in your neck and things, but that's up to you. These are optional. So again, suck eggs, pretty simple. I like to come to the front here. All we're doing, relaxing the arms as much as possible. These are just like ropes on string, and moving up and holding there. it's good to do a couple of seconds hold at the top. These, because they're a small motion, can usually be loaded up quite heavily. But what I prefer people to do is to make the lightest weight possible feel heavy and hard. So I'm going to do a 3-second hold at the top. So 6D is lunges. I personally, if you're doing them on the spot, I'd like you to do a reverse lunge. So you stand there. As you're coming back, just imagine that you're on a train track. So don't step right back as if you're on a tightrope. I want you to keep the same width as the stance. An easy way to do that, keeping the same width as the stance, is to just tense up the foot, tense the stomach, go along the floor like that, don't take the foot off, and then lunge there. Most of the weight is on the front leg. That's the idea with lunges. The back leg's just to support. So there, most of the weight is on the front leg. If you're walking, you can walk up and down in the outside area, or if there's not many people needing space in the unit, that's fine as well. And that's it, fuck off home.